Yes, my Between the Liners, Premier League football is back at Old Trafford, the best stadium in the world, the theatre of dreams. How good does it feel to be back? Manchester United have just beaten Nottingham Forest 2-0 at Old Trafford. This is the Between the Lines podcast. Like the video right now because this is going to be a banger. Subscribe to the channel right now because this is going to be a banger. I'm your host, Adnan. Follow the TikTok, the Instas at BTL Pods. Let's get into the game. And first things first, it's a new era, you could say. Ronaldo's left. The weight of Ronaldo's expectations and stroppiness in the change room has left the boys. It's freedom. Ten Hag has the power to do what he wants. He's in control. Maguire's phased out the starting lineup. Ronaldo's left. It's down to the boys now, down to Ten Hag. Nottingham Forest, first game back, could have been a bit of a banana skin, just like the Burnley game in the Carabao Cup, but we've come through unscathed. A 3-0, sorry, did I say 2-0 earlier? Sorry, a 3-0 win against Nottingham Forest. Before I get into the game about Casemiro and Varane, because I know you might want to hear that, let's talk about the starting lineup. And also, shout out Jesse Lingard, deserves a lot, deserves respect to, like, obviously Ralph didn't play him in the last game of the season. We've heard him come out and complain, but he got a standing ovation after he got subbed off with an injury. Didn't play too bad, but obviously showed he's not Manchester United level anymore. But fair play to Lingard. I think in our last 4 finals that we won, he'd scored 3 goals in those finals. So he deserves some kind of credit, whether you rate him highly or not. He's done his thing. He's lived out his dream. Supports United, played for United since he was 7 years old. Shout out Jesse Lingard. Back to the big team, Manchester United. We'll talk about the starting lineup first. And first things first, I was quite surprised. We had 3 fullbacks in defence, AWB, Shaw and Malacia. I was very surprised that Varane was playing already, because we saw Lloris yesterday come back from the France team and he's a goalkeeper and he was on the bench. But Varane, and it just shows, it's a testament of his character, because we've seen some of his speeches in the France dressing room, and you can only imagine he said to Ten Hag, yo, I want to play. And I'm sure Ten Hag immediately obliged. Like, how can you say no to Champions League Varane? Anyway, rest of the starting lineup, I thought that before the game started, it was going to be a big challenge for Shaw. Obviously, we'll get into how he played after. And I think it was more of a test for Wan-Bissaka after his good performance against Burnley to see what he could do. And also, Malacia, a chance for him to kind of step up and kind of deliver that form he showed as soon as when he first came in. And the rest of the starting lineup was pretty standard. I thought maybe Garnacho could have felt a bit harshly done because of his form prior to the World Cup. And obviously in the Burnley game, he played well as well. But the rest of the starting lineup was pretty standard. It's probably our best starting lineup going ahead. So we'll take it into the positives first. Where do I start? All right, let me start with the back 4, back 5 first. We'll talk about Dave. I thought Dave was pretty quiet in general. Didn't really have much to do. Positives on the back 4. I'd say AWB put in a good performance. Rafa Varane. I can't believe we've got players like Varane and Casemiro in our team. I don't think there's many words to describe them, or many better words to describe them, Varane and Casemiro, other than just pure class. Like, what an honour and a privilege it is to have these 2 guys on our team. And I saw Casemiro got a lot of the plaudits from the commentary team and from some of the boys in the group chat, but I think Varane needs a special mention. Varane and Casemiro's ability to read the game is out of this world. And I know we're only playing Nottingham Forest. Let's be realistic, yeah? We're only playing Nottingham Forest. They're like, I don't even know, like 16th or something, 18th or something in the league. I have no idea. But Varane and Casemiro just show they're a class above every single other player on that pitch. Is second to none. Their ability to read the game is second to none. Varane at the back, anytime there's a crucial header needed, he was there. Anytime there's a crucial block, he was there. Or it's probably Casemiro. Shaw, you know what? I don't think he was challenged too much, but I don't think he put a foot wrong. And it shows his commitment to the team. I heard in the Burnley game, he was willing to play centre-back first as well. So big up Shaw, didn't really put a foot wrong, weren't really challenged, I didn't think. And when you got Varane next to you, it's pretty easy to defend, unless your name's Harry Maguire, but we'll get to that later. Left back, Malacia. I like his attitude and his ability to not give up. Other than that, his ability on the ball and his defensive work, we're going to get into that, into the negatives, to be honest. Little spoiler alert there. Midfield, should we talk about the main man now? Oh, yeah. Can you see by the smile on my face how gassed I am by Casemiro? You lot need to go back and watch my videos when we first signed Casemiro. I told every single person I'd seen or spoken to, and even in that video, this guy is the best CDM potentially of all time. Like, genuinely of all time. And if not all time, then definitely the best CDM in the world right now. The guy was everywhere on the pitch. Interceptions, passings. I think one of his best attributes that I didn't really know before he came was his ability to find a pass first time. Especially if he picks up little scraps in the midfield, his ability to find a forward pass and like a very incisive and direct and attacking minded pass first time is out of this world. He kind of reminds me when I play, like, I'm always trying to find that little first time pass into the strikers, into the wingers, and he finds it so well. A good example of that is the third goal when he got the assist for Fred. He was the first one to nip in. He's just so good at reading the game, to be honest. Like, it's hard to describe how good he is. But yeah, his ability to win the ball, read the game, win the ball, and then pass it off straight away into attacking position, find a needle threading pass, or whatever the phrase is. How good is it to have Casemiro, man? I will genuinely give him the captain's badge right now. The captain's armband, sorry. Like, I know Bruno's doing well, and I know Bruno's got the captain's armband, and he's kind of matured his game a little, but I genuinely think that Casemiro needs that captain's armband. Obviously, he doesn't need it, but I'll be very proud if we gave it to him. And I think he deserves it, to be honest. I don't know how his English is, but his performances on the pitch speaks for itself. Eriksen, I thought, was all right. It's similar to the Burnley game, I think. He was kind of ticking it along. Bruno, not really a lot of positives to shout about Bruno today. I think on the ball, he was all right. And I think the best thing about Bruno today was probably his work rate, mostly. We'll take it on to the forward players. Rashford, man. All right, let's talk about Martial first. Martial, I thought, was a bit quiet in general. His hold-up play wasn't as effective as it potentially could be. I still feel like he's kind of finding his rhythm. I don't know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments. He's not really up to complete scratch right now compared to like his best that we've seen in the past before. But you can see he's kind of finding his feet a little. And in the end of the day, you got to go after great play. Let's take it on to the main man of our team right now, who's pretty much, in an attacking sense, dragging us by the necks. Marcus Rashford. What an absolute baller. And I kind of wish we had this Marcus Rashford in the last 18 months, in the seasons prior, because I don't know what he went through in those months and last season. But if we had him, we would have been in a much better position. The form Marcus Rashford and the confidence Marcus Rashford is on right now is out of this world. That finish for the first goal, yeah, let's talk about that. The Eriksen pass is good. Zipped it along the floor from the corner. Good set piece routine. Marcus Rashford, that finish is not easy, you know. The way he controlled that ball, he made the run from the back post, behind the defenders, away from the defenders, had to time the run, had to time the finish. The finish and the composure to finish that chance is not easy. He's got the amount of power on there. That could have easily gone flying into the stand. He got the right amount of power on there, directed it into the top corner, got the perfect amount of curl on the shot, the perfect amount of power, and he's not even had to get a lot of power on it because of the good Eriksen pass. But what a finish. And then the assist from Martial literally 3 minutes later. The pass from Bruno was good, by the way, to set Rashford off. The touch to take it down, the chop back onto his right foot, the assist to Martial. He just makes it look so easy when he's on full flight. And like when he doesn't have time to think about things, Marcus Rashford on instinct is a top player. And I saw before the game that Erik ten Hag had set a challenge for him to reach 20 Premier League goals. I don't think he was talking about this season specifically, but I think in general he was saying Rashford can easily reach 20 Premier League goals. And I genuinely can't see why. With Ten Hag's coaching and Ten Hag giving the license to Rashford, and he's obviously improved his like mental attitude, and you can see that he's in great shape. He's very lean. He's very agile, very fit right now. Marcus Rashford should easily be targeting 20 Premier League goals next season. This season, I think he's on 5 Premier League goals, which isn't great, to be honest with you. But obviously, in all competitions, I think he's on 12 or 13. So, yeah, man. Look, for the rest of this season, we should be expecting big things from Marcus Rashford. And anything less than, 15 Premier League goals or 14 Premier League goals, I'd class as a disappointment, especially because of the form he's on right now and the way that the team's set up for him to be our number one attacking threat. I'm expecting big things from Marcus Rashford. I'm very grateful and I'm gassed. Obviously, he's a youth academy. We've seen him come up from the youth academy to now and how he's performed from then to now. And after he performed with the injury for a long time, a lot of people getting onto his back. I'm glad that majority of United fans had faith in him. There's only a few stupid idiot fans on Twitter probably saying that we should have sold him last season. Ridiculous. You don't give up on your youth academy players like that, or players that have come up from the academy and have given their all to the club majority of the time when they've stepped out onto the pitch. Sometimes his attitude could have been questions last season. That's fair enough. But clearly now, when he's in his best mental shape and his best physical shape, the guy is... I can't describe him anything other than unstoppable right now. Because even in the World Cup, he proved himself. The guy is untouchable and unstoppable right now. Marcus Rashford, MBE, big respect to you. Other positives of the game, I'd say, especially from the beginning in the first half, our intensity was very high. We're winning the ball back very high, very quickly as well. Very impressive. And I just liked the intensity of the team when we came out in the first half. Came flying out the traps. Had Nottingham Forest under pressure from the beginning. And I loved that. Winning the ball back a lot. And also our wing play I thought was very good in the first half, especially. Just that, like, you can see that we're building a style of play now and we have actual tactics and a way to actually play football for once. For the first time in a long time. And I just think that the only thing that was lacking, especially in the first half, was our final ball. The end product just wasn't there from the wings. And maybe you could say that's partially because we've got our second choice fullbacks, Malacia and AWB. So that's probably an explanation as to why that was the case. But I just think that I'm very happy to see that we're a functioning Manchester United team now. And also shout out AWB again, because obviously he's had a lot of critics. A lot of people have written him off. But his last 2 performances, especially the Burnley game, I thought he played very well. This game, I thought he's pretty decent overall. Just obviously, he's a bit unorthodox the way he plays football and the way he runs on the ball. He's not very aesthetically pleasing to watch because he's like Langley and yeah, he just takes heavy touches here and there. Dribbles a bit weird. He's like his top heavy when he dribbles. He's like leaning forward when he dribbles and his legs are always stretched when he dribbles. But he had a decent performance. Wasn't really trouble down that right back side, Nottingham Forest left side. So fair play to Wan-Bissaka. One last positive actually. And I don't know, man. I've gone on for ages already. Shout out Varane. Shout out Rashford. Shout out Casemiro again. One last positive. When Garnacho come off the bench. Oh, my God. Have we got a special player on our hands, man? Where do we even fit this guy in? Because that's Rashford's best position. Somehow we got to squeeze in Rashford and Garnacho on the left or something. I don't know what we're going to do. This Garnacho performance off the bench, he's just like, he makes it look so easy, so direct, beats a man so easily, he's got a pretty good final pass as well, so that's pretty impressive of him. I think we were lacking a bit of a striking instincts from Rashford in the end. Garnacho probably could have got a few more assists there. Other than that, I think we created a lot of good chances, I'd say, which is a positive, more positives to come. But yeah, let's take it into the negatives now. Because we got to be realistic. It is Nottingham Forest in the end. We have won 3-0, but there were still quite a few negatives to get through. So firstly, there's one thing I noticed throughout that whole game, and I think it happened quite a lot in the first half, and especially a lot more in the second half. Our transition, or when Nottingham Forest are on a transition and they break that first line of our press, we just look so open, and I'm not sure how I feel about that. It doesn't fill me with any confidence because a better team a lot better teams in the Premier League other than Nottingham Forest will definitely punish us. Like, I can imagine like Zaha at Crystal Palace punishing us, especially if Palace get bossed past the first line of press and Zaha on the transition, because there was so much open space. I'm just picking out Zaha, for example, just first name that come to my head. Zaha, Eze, Olise, I think they'll punish us more, especially when, after the first line of our press. And I feel like Nottingham Forest got through quite a lot in those times, and there was a lot of big gaps in the pitch, and I'm not sure. It worries me a little, to be honest. And I think Ten Hag, that's something that they need to work on as a team. Maybe is that because they had a makeshift back four? I'm not sure, but still, the team should be coached better in that terms. I don't know what that is. Just like the back four kind of looked a bit far apart, and also it looked like Forest had 3-on-3 a lot of the time when they were beating our first line of the press. So that's something we need to watch out. Other than that, it's funny because I was thinking this before we scored the goal. I was thinking this just before we scored the Rashford goal. Our set pieces are so bad. And I remember Spurs fans used to be annoyed with Eriksen and his crosses into the box from corners. Never beats the first man. And obviously, let's exclude the Rashford first goal for now, yeah? Just for the sake of argument. A lot of our set pieces are very poor. And it's just like, we don't have a lot of like set piece tactics. Like obviously the Rashford one, it worked. That's like the first time, or very rarely do we ever come up with a set piece play like that. And it's just, I don't know why we're so bad at putting the ball into the box or putting the ball into a good area. And we should have more set piece plays now. Now that we've seen that works, teams are going to be onto us. We need to be proactive and start thinking of other ways to come up and score from set pieces. Because it's a big part of football. I think they say that 30% or 40% of goals in football come from set pieces. And we're not utilising that enough. And also, speaking about set pieces, that's offensively. Defensively, we look very shaky at set pieces. Other than Varane and probably Casemiro, but mostly Varane I've seen in set pieces is the only one that gets his head on the ball majority of the time. And fair play to Scott McTominay. He didn't play today, but a lot of times in set pieces I've noticed McTominay is good at heading the ball away. But other than that, we don't really have anyone coming out and clearing the ball and claiming possession of the ball from a set piece. It's very concerning, and it goes to show, Nottingham Forest had a goal disallowed because of offside, and to be honest, they should have scored that. But the defending for that set piece was a joke. I think it might have been Bruno or Martial who's actually playing them all on side. One, that needs to be sorted out. Someone needs to be controlling that line from set pieces. And two, fair enough, someone's playing them on side, but AWB and Malacia are just both ball watching. Both their men are ahead of them. They're not even goal-sided defenders, and they're letting Yates and I think Bowley get ahead of them and pretty much have a free header. That's just not good enough. And like I said, better teams will punish us. Teams like Brentford, who are excellent at set pieces, they'll punish us. So it's a big concern, to be honest, the set pieces. And other than that, I feel like in the second half, especially, or even to be honest, after we scored the 2 goals in the first half, the intensity dropped, especially from an attacking point of view. It's like we got too casual. Guys started doing flicks and tricks straight away in the first half. That's just not acceptable. Think about it. Teams like Man City or Liverpool, after they score 2, they're not resting their laurels. They're going for 3, 4, 5. Why are we not doing that? Why are we dropping the intensity in the first half after 2-0? You can't get too comfortable in the Premier League. And yes, we've got an amazing record after half-time at Old Trafford, I know. But still, one of these days, we might lose that record because of our lack of intensity after we've gone 2-0 up. You can't be too casual. We need to be punishing teams. Which brings me on to like the next point. We missed so many chances in that game. How did it only finish 3-0? We need to be putting teams like Nottingham Forest away. We need to be more ruthless, and it's just not acceptable, to be honest. Obviously, we've won the game. That's all great. But on another day, we might get punished because of the lack of intensity. And the way we come out in the second half was a joke, to be honest. Let's be real. Like, because Forest could have easily punished us. If they had a bit more technical ability, they could have easily punished us in that second half. And I was very concerned, to be honest. I don't know why that intensity drops. It's like the players just thought they won the game, and that's not good enough, to be honest. Yeah, so I don't really know what happened in that second half. We just couldn't really control possession. It was almost end-to-end for a bit because United kept giving it away, Forest kept giving it away. We're just going from one end to another. And yeah, that's good for a neutral point of view or from a football entertainment point of view. But as a Man United fan and as a Man United player, especially Ten Hag as the Man United manager, we should be aiming to controlling those games. And yes, if you're not going to score and create a lot of chances, at least kill the game off in the second half by dominating possession and taking the life out of the Forest Forest team or the opposition, and we just didn't do that. It's almost like we're giving them confidence, because if they got one goal, I wouldn't have been surprised if they scored another. It was looking very dangerous and very chaotic. We'll take it onto like the individual performances and negatives of the individual performances. I don't want to pick him out because I think he's kind of young. Malacia, 23, 24. And obviously AWB was asleep for that offside goal that Forest probably should have scored. But Malacia, I just feel he's not really filling me with great confidence, because defensively, it's almost like players can beat him. And attacking wise, he hasn't got the best final product, the best final ball. So he's obviously not the best replacement for sure. I'd say he's a decent backup, but I wouldn't really want to rely on him in a big game. So that's a bit of a concern. I'd say AWB gave him a decent account of himself compared to Malacia. But yeah, I don't know, man. Just as a new player, Man United player, you kind of want a bit more from Malacia, I think. But he was cheap in the end of the day, so there's low expectations maybe. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. We'll take it on to the next negative. And all right, one thing was Bruno. I thought he was pretty poor on the ball in general today. Wasn't really impactful. I thought Eriksen was pretty quiet in general. Anthony, I think, was possibly the biggest disappointment today. And then maybe you could say from the last few Premier League games that we've seen of him as well, it's just, what is he providing at the moment? Like, he's not really... And in the Brazil team, I thought he put in some few decent performances, to be fair, and he's pretty direct, went along down the line, put in a few crosses. But for United today, and for some of the United games I've seen in the past, I haven't really seen him take on his winger too much. And other than that, what does he provide? His work rate, to be honest, to be fair to him, is immense. Like, you can see why Ten Hag signed him in terms of work rate and desire to play for the badge. I like that. I love that, yeah. But just on the ball, but obviously, you have to kind of take the money into account. At the end of the day, it was 85 million or whatever it was, yeah. And on the ball, he's not really providing enough. Gives the ball away too much. Is a bit too casual on the ball. Kind of picks the wrong choice more often than not. Had a few little wayward crosses, what I thought was a bit pointless. It was like he was just hitting and hoping. Wasn't really trying to find the man. Had a shot that was decent. And got subbed off rightfully, to be honest. And like, you look at the guy that come on for him, Garnacho, he had like such a positive impact on the game in such a short space of time. You could argue that Garnacho deserves to start over Anthony right now. And Garnacho was 800k or whatever from Atletico Madrid, and Anthony's 85 mil. So I'm just a bit disappointed. And obviously he should have got a goal as well, probably, when he had it on his left foot. He's 1-on-1. Probably should have took it with his right foot. Maybe he's low on confidence. I'm not sure. Maybe he's upset over the Brazil win. I'm not sure. But obviously we've got Ten Hag. So if anyone's going to bring the best out of him, it's going to be Ten Hag. And Ten Hag's worked with him before. So you can only imagine Ten Hag's seen a player in there that we haven't seen yet. That's because Ten Hag sees him every day and he's worked with him at Ajax. So you can only imagine Ten Hag is the right person to get the best out of Anthony. I'm obviously not writing him off yet, but I'm hoping for a lot more from Anthony. Maybe one more slight negative you could say is Anthony Martial didn't get another 90 minutes. I genuinely can't remember the last time he got 90 minutes. And maybe he was a bit quiet in general in the game. Wasn't really doing too much, to be honest with you. Other than his goal, I can't really think of any other shots he had. But yeah, obviously, we're trying to manage his injury situation as well. So I can understand why he got substituted. We'll take it into the match roundup, and overall, like, who would I give the best player award to a man in the match? It's got to be Casemiro, innit? Man, what a player. What a performance. I was close to giving to Rashford. He got a goal and assist. Probably should have got another goal as well. But Casemiro, overall, the way he dominated that game was a joke. And yes, it's only Nottingham Forest, I know, but it's just, like I said in the beginning of the video, it's a privilege to have players like Casemiro and Varane in our team. And I know opposition fans might think that they're past their prime. These guys are bang in the middle of their prime. And it's just a joy to have them in our team. Tackles, passes, shooting, assists, reading of the game, leadership, character. The fact that Varane wanted to play today, character. The fact that Casemiro come out there, put a performance like that. And it's just like, he's just brushing dirt off his shoulder. It's like, it's nothing to him. He looks so composed. And the amount of times that a cross gets put in by a Nottingham Forest player and he's the first person to read it. Not even the defender. Like, not a lot of the time down Shaw's side, yeah, Luke Shaw's side, it weren't Shaw that was blocking the cross. It was Casemiro. How was he in like 5 different places at once? Man's at one end of the field getting an assist, then he's at the other end of the field getting a block. Like, even for the first goal, I think it was Casemiro tackle that set us up on the way to get the first goal. The guy is ridiculous, man. For everyone that laughed at me for saying Casemiro is the best CDM of all time, I hope you lot are eating your words or whatever it is. What a player, yeah. So best player I'd probably give to Casemiro. I think Alan Shearer gives Casemiro as well. Most disappointing player, you could probably say Anthony, to be honest. Potentially Malacia, maybe Bruno, because we have high expectations for Bruno. Let me know in the comments who do you think was the man of the match, and who do you think was the worst player in the game, or not worst player, because I don't want to be too harsh, but who do you think was the most disappointing player in our team today? Obviously Van der Beek came on, was pretty non-effective. Elanga come on, was pretty ineffective. Garnacho, there's a difference between Garnacho and Van der Beek and Elanga. Garnacho can come on in 10, 15, 20 minutes and prove he's worthy to put on the shirt of Manchester United. These other guys are just bystanders and they can't do nothing. They're not effective enough. I'm going to give a quick player ratings, and I haven't done this on any of my other previous reaction videos, but 2023, we're doing things differently. So let's get into the routine now. Player ratings, 5 being the average. De Gea, probably give him a 5. Didn't really put a foot wrong. Didn't really have much to do, to be honest. 5 or 6. Wan-Bissaka, you know what? I'll give him a 6, man. I thought he played all right, innit? He did. He tried hard. He tried his best. I feel like the crowd were kind of roaring him on and trying to give him confidence. I like that. I love that from the Old Trafford crowd. Shout out the crowd today, by the way. They were singing loudly throughout the whole game, especially in rainy Manchester. Varane, I'll give him an 8 out of 10, bro. Like, he was nuts. Shaw, I'll give him a 6. I didn't really think he was challenged too much, but he's obviously playing out of position. Malacia, I can't really say he was poor, but I'd say he was average, so I'll give him a 5. Casemiro, I'll give him a 9, maybe, probably a 9. Eriksen, I'll give him 7, maybe, because of the assist and he kept things moving. Bruno, I'll give him a 6, mostly for his work rate. Rashford, I'll give him an 8, definitely. He's just our best attacking threat right now. Anthony, I don't want to be too harsh. I wouldn't give anyone a 4 after today. We won 3-0. Anthony, I'll give him a 5, an average performance. He might even be below average. I don't know what you guys think. And Martial, I'll give him a 6. He got a goal, so fair play to him. Got another 60 minutes under his belt. We're going to rely on him because obviously I don't know who we're signing. All right, looking ahead. Wolves, New Year's Eve, 12:30 p.m. kickoff this Saturday at the Molineux. What do you guys think? Wolves aren't playing great this season. I'm pretty confident that we should go there, get another clean sheet. I think we've got 4 clean sheets in our last 6 games, by the way, which is another great positive and shows how far we've come from last season. And Ten Hag shored up defence, obviously Martinez, which brings me on to Martinez. And Ten Hag said Martinez needs to know that the Premier League started. And boy, you better get your ass back from Argentina because we need you, bro. I don't care what you done with Argentina. Congratulations to you. I'm very happy for you. But Manchester United is back in the Premier League. And Martinez, I need you back ASAP. Martinez and Varane for the rest of this half, and I think we've got 23 games left of the season or 22 games left of the season. I'm expecting, with Varane and Martinez at the back, Casemiro shielding them, out of 22 games, I'm fairly confident of predicting we should be able to get 12, 10 clean sheets, which will be a big achievement and a big improvement compared to last season. So yeah, I'm eager for Martinez to come back. The Wolves game, I'm confident we can get another clean sheet. And I'm hoping, probably the way Rashford's going, it's going to be Rashford again. We should get maybe a 2-0 win. Excited to see who plays. Probably get Shaw back at left back. Maybe Dalot. Does he come back in now? Is he fit enough? I don't know. But I don't know. I'm confident in Wan-Bissaka to kind of put in these solid shifts at least. Maybe he might not provide the attacking threat that we need down the right, but at least he's a capable backup. And a lot of people worried that he weren't going to be. So fair play to Wan-Bissaka. Guys, let me know in the comments. Premier League football is back. Manchester United is back. We've got the best CDM in the world. We've got the best centre back in the world. Varane, Casemiro, Rashford. The comparisons to Mbappe might be coming back. I don't want to get too gassed, but my blood is boiling. I've got goosebumps over that performance. I'm so gassed that Manchester United are back. Guys, get in the comments. You don't get in the comments enough. Let me know what your thoughts on the game. Like, I don't want to be the only one talking. I want to hear you guys' opinions as well. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Thanks for all the subscriptions so far this year. We started off in, I think my first video was January 28th. We're coming to the end of the year very soon. We've got a big Premier League video coming out this Friday, I believe, on all-time Premier League 11 draft. So watch out for that one. This is the Between the Lines podcast. I'm your host, Adnan. Go check out the TikTok and the Insta at BTL Pods. See you in the next one. Peace out.